covers a lot, but it may not cover your most valuable possessions.
My baseball card collection.
Talk to us. We'll make sure your homeowner's policy covers the things you value most. William G. Meckling Insurance Agency, Indiana, PA. It's always something.
It's always something.
This is the voice of Indiana County. 101.1 FM and AM 1160 WCCS.
It is Indiana in the morning. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. And it's a Wednesday morning. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it is. Wednesday, May the 7th today. The month is just, there it goes. Again, it's going to slip right by before we know it. And in the studio with us this morning, Jonathan Bogert from the Historical and Genealogical Society of Indiana County, and he's brought a guest with him today. Our visit is presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Jonathan, this is a tasty visit that we're talking about today, huh?
Yes, very tasty. And I'll say, where did April go?
It's gone. Just like that. They fly by, these months do.
Yes.
But tell me about this event. Tell me, and introduce your guest this morning.
Yes. So today I brought Louis Tate with me, and we have a program coming up on May 13th that highlights a book that he recently wrote.
Yeah.
And so we're excited. That's Tuesday, May 13th at 6:30 at the Society. And he's going to go and give a full presentation on the book. So we're excited for that.
And you brought a visual aid with you.
Yes, not only is he talking on the book, he was incredibly generous in loaning us some artifacts from the restaurant. And so a couple of paintings, a couple of kitchenware, this being one of them, and we have that on display. So it'll be a nice sort of backdrop for his talk.
So it's called the Luigi Way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's I couldn't think of a better title when composing this book, because this book goes beyond a feel-good story of a successful small-town restaurant. It goes to show that if you have a strong set of values in a workplace's culture, how you can achieve many great things, not just in business, but in life. And in a world driven with so much, self-desire and instant gratification, I had felt that, our world is losing sight of strong values that go beyond self-desires. And that's what I really wanted to highlight in this book, and, how those strong values can really propel success in life.
You walk into Luigi's and Clymer, and the culture is, it just drips, and frequently in a lovely sauce. But it really is, you soak it in when you go in there. And the aromas, number one, that hits you first, but then you begin to look around, and you experience the people and the way that things happen there at Luigi's. It really is old world brought to today, isn't it?
It is. And, these are values that have been passed down from generation to generation since my great-great-grandparents came over here from Italy in the late 1800s. And in the early 1900s, 1905, starting Tate's Supermarket. All of these values have been passed down throughout generations. So, when my father had decided in 1984 to introduce an Italian menu to the Clymer area, again, it was about more than just being an entrepreneur and, being in the food business per se. It was providing more than just a quality product to the community. It was, a sense of hope and a sense of community and a sense of belonging. We hire people of all age ranges, whether it's their first job or their 50th job, with multiple life experiences or barely any at all, and being able to share in our values and truly treat them like family, and all patrons that come through our doors. There's been countless people that I have met that said, there's no place like Luigi's. And when you hear that, that's really special, because we truly put our heart and souls into what we do and what we believe.
And it's not true that when you walk into Luigi's, you see only Penns Manor Comets, but you do see a bunch of them including yourself. And when you do go there, and you mentioned young folks come to work there, people have been working there for decades, literally, at Luigi's. And the Luigi Way is something that, well, you explain it to me. How is it that someone is able to buy into or experience that Luigi culture?
Sure. So, to start, energy, innovation, and money get a business started, but values are what keeps the business alive and healthy in the long run. So we're in an industry with a 60% failure rating within a year and over 80% within 5 years. And then COVID comes around and knocks out 17% restaurants nationwide with an average lifespan of 16 years. So these weren't startup businesses, these are established businesses. So we began to think, how did a restaurant in a town with one red light survive not just the pandemic, but, now going on 41 plus years of business? It's living by these values. So, one, we have to live by what we believe. It's one thing to post these values on the wall and, share what we believe with other people verbally, but we do it in action, and that's what attracts is the action. And, we have staff that have been with us for over 3 decades and some that are just starting now and that have worked their way up the chain. I think that the way that they're treated there is what's most attractive. And then especially if they had gone somewhere else and maybe come back and realized that, this is more than just a job. This is a community. This is a family. This is a group of people, not just the people that, I work for, but the people I work with. They truly treat me and see me as family. So, values such as community, stewardship, love your neighbor as yourself, hospitality, humility, all of these values are truly lived, and not just by us, but by our team. And if it wasn't lived by our team, we wouldn't be in this one red light town for 41 plus years, attracting people, from a tri-county radius. It has to be lived by the whole organization. So trying to attract and retain a team that believes in those values is essential to our survival. You can teach someone how to wait on a table or how to clean dishes or cook pasta, but you can't really teach them to believe the same thing as you. And, being in a nurturing environment that thrives in those values helps people to, either be more attracted to it or be deterred from it and just kind of go their own way. So, we've been extremely blessed with the team that we have and the team that has helped us build this community-focused business throughout the decades.
The book is beautifully done. Hold that up for our Facebook viewers.
Yeah.
And there it is. What motivated you to say, I'm going to put this into book form? Other people need to know about this.
Sure. So I'm going to give a shout-out to a great family friend, Allison Billen, who had planted the seed shortly after the pandemic restrictions had eased. When we were finally permitted to return to full-service dining, I went over to visit with her and her husband. They were having dinner one night, and she had asked me, what was it like? What were the challenges like? What did you do to get through it? And I said, we did A, B, and C, but ultimately it was the values that us as a whole team live by that has propelled our success, not just through all these unforeseen challenges of the pandemic, but throughout the last, at the time, 37 years. And she said, wow, that's great. You should write a book. And, I had giggled and thought, how the heck am I going to write a book? I'm so busy now with the business. That takes a lot of time. And, it's fascinating how the Lord plants seeds in our life that we're not always, maybe open to or recognizing in the moment, but remaining open to where, what that seed might bloom into. The right opportunities presented themselves to me, just kind of fell on my lap. I enrolled in an authorship program through Georgetown University, which provided the necessary editors and other staff to help me not just create the book, but get it published and all the legal rights and everything else. So now it's available anywhere online that you can purchase a book. So
Wonderful.
I've been very blessed.
I'm assuming, Jonathan, that it's also going to be available on the night of the event.
I believe we're going to have some on
Gonna have
site
some
for
there?
people to purchase. Yeah.
Wonderful. So the event is when?
Tuesday, May 13th, 6:30 p.m.
This coming Tuesday.
Yeah, this coming Tuesday, coming up fast, already the middle of May somehow.
Yeah.
And we do ask folks to RSVP through the Society's website if possible, because we are going to have some food from Luigi's. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Pizza, I believe, is
Yep.
on the menu.
And
so.
don't worry, I'll be around to greet everybody and rub shoulders and shake hands and make sure everything's tasting okay. So.
That's the Luigi way. That's what you do. Show the visual aid to our Facebook viewers this morning, too. That's not a torture device there.
Yeah, it's,
That's an
I
authentic.
might have received a few of those as a kid.
yeah.
You can tell, though, that is a restaurant-used device that is there.
Yeah, so that would have been used both in the restaurant and also in my grandparents' kitchen. Kind of what inspired the origins for the restaurant was my grandfather knew that his recipes and his parents' recipes, especially the sauce and meatballs, was such a delicacy to their family. Every Sunday after church, they'd get together and he'd make the homemade sauce, and that's how he'd stir the sauce and throw the meatballs in with it. And they were really excited to share something that was so special to them throughout the whole community. So this simple little wooden paddle here with a lot of character is very significant because this is part of the origins of the restaurant, of the Luigi Way.
Yeah. We'll learn about the Luigi Way coming up on Tuesday. You said 6:30, Jonathan?
Yeah, 6:30 p.m. in the Armory, and folks can either call the Society or RSVP online at hgsic.org.
All right. Get that call made because
Yes.
I have the feeling that this is going to be one of those sold-out engagements. The Luigi Way, and you said online is the place to get it most of all?
Online, the Book Nook here in Indiana.
Okay.
At the restaurant here in Clymer, or meet directly. So
Got it at the restaurant in Clymer. There's an evening right there. Here comes Mother's Day.
yeah, gonna be a busy week, that and IEP graduation. But we're blessed that many members of the community like to share those special moments with us at the restaurant. So we'll be prepared.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a wonderful event, Louis. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Jonathan, look forward to this event as well. This is going to be as tasty an event as you've ever had.
Probably one of the tastiest. Yes. Thanks for having us, Todd.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Just about 25 minutes after 8 o'clock, Fox News is coming away at the top of the hour, but we've got Boomer Sports in just a couple of moments. Matt joins us from the WCCS newsroom. Beth Finnegan from the Indiana County Humane Society is on with us in the 8:45 segment. It's Indiana in the Morning on WCCS.
This is Boomer Esiason with Sports Minute, sponsored by Napa, the pros that know AC parts inside and out. Rather than keeping its final race of the season in Phoenix, NASCAR will begin rotating its championship weekend starting in 2026 with Homestead Miami. Daytona 500 winner William Byron recently told me that since Phoenix is a niche track, certain teams enjoy an advantage. Rotating should create better championship competition, and I agree. I'm Boomer Esiason.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
It's a high fly ball. Back.
Gone! Knocked another one out of the park, Rockette.
Quick, Ken, you hammered that one. That's your 4th closed mortgage this week.
Rockette, I just keep swinging for the fences and circling the bases with great commission and high rates.
Oh boy, Quick, Ken, here comes another pitch. We keep getting all these online leads. Grand Slam coming up.
Don't be thrown a curveball by all those online mortgage companies who are just waiting to hit home runs with last-minute rate changes and thousands in extra hidden fees. Don't be just another pitch and home run for those impersonal banks and mortgage offers. Whether you are building or buying the home of your dreams or just refinancing your current home, you need InFirst Bank, a trusted local mortgage lender for over 100 years. At InFirst Bank, we are throwing you the perfect offer with no hidden fees and no last-minute curveballs. We provide personalized service and will work